Hi guys. So I am tired. I worked the whole day today. I was seeing patients. I was covering for someone who sees patients in Colorado, but I don't have Colorado license. So I have Arizona license. I don't have Colorado license. So I was seeing patients that were from Arizona, but are like either a temporary job in Colorado or visiting Colorado. So what they were doing was, they were just giving me patients, so many patients. I saw like 24 patients in 8 hours. So I am kind of tired. But what was I gonna? So yesterday I was watching this live, and Philent DR was talking about how pro-black Trump is, and I was laughing because the evidence he brought is, uh, evidence that is not reliable. One, he had this lady, this black lady, who supposedly was, she's a homeless, was staying at Trump Tower, and they wanted to evict her, but Trump told his people that not to evict her. And I'm like, and the lady made a video that that video was made in 2015, when people were talking about how racist Trump was. It's for one thing, the lady was exposed to be just, I think some, either one of those Trump supporting people who make videos paid her to make that video. But even if she was not exposed, you would know it is a lie, because Trump doesn't even let people into his tower that are not really, really like super rich. So why are you falling for this scammy video? The funny thing is, and then he said that Trump used to give black homeless people $100, and I'm like, a person who was sued by a Republican DOJ for refusing to rent to black people was giving $100 to black homeless people. The funny thing about for me is, Trump's racism is out in the open, but his supposed black love for black people is always being done in the very hidden, in secret. There is really no evidence of him doing it. We don't see him doing it. So that should tell you it's a lie. I mean, Trump is, extremely greedy guy. He doesn't like giving other people his money. Oh no, Trump was not giving people homeless black people $100. because he doesn't do that. He's not that kind of person. I mean, this is the guy who took out $8 from his own charity to pay the fee, the Boy Scout fee for one of his sons. So this guy is not some kind of generous person who would give money to other people. He's the other way around. He's the opposite. I don't know what the opposite of a generous person is. Let me ask. So no, he didn't give any money to white people, to black people. And then they claimed that then uh, that what's his name? Fearless guy claimed Obama didn't have black people in his cabinet. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Obama had Eric Holder. I mean, how do you forget Eric Holder being in Obama's cabinet? One was what used to upset a lot of racist people because seeing two black people in position of power. So the fact that they do not realize, they do not know that tells you these people are not really as bright as they think they are. And he had the AG was a black woman at one time. The national advisor was black. I think Susan Rice. Susan Rice was a national advisor at some point, right? So, yeah, he had a lot. If I'm not wrong, he had more black people in his cabinet than any other president before. I mean, any other president. So, yeah, Obama had, had more black people than did Trump in his first administration. And remember, Trump gave the only black person he had in his cabinet, he gave him a job as something urban. Let me yeah, Ben Carson. He made him urban. Let me housing and urban development because for Trump, urban means black people. I mean, if you really research what the HUD does, a lot of it is planning cities, city building, city infrastructure. But because Trump is, Trump has a very stereotypical way of looking at black people. He can only think of black people as criminals, entertainers. That's it. He cannot think of black people as or manual laborers. That's all he can think of black people as. So yeah, Trump is probably the second most racist president, second to Reagan in the last 50 years, because Reagan was president in 1980, right? From 1980 to 1988. And he was, the most racist president of the last 50 years. I mean, since 1950, I guess. So that's what I wanted to say. And you have to realize the love these passport pros have for Trump is just one-sided. Trump has not acknowledged his black voters. He's not doing anything to pander to them. All he panders to are his white base. And what is pathetic is that a lot of these his black voters have been trying, have been kissing his ass. Like whenever he says something, they try to team up with him, but he doesn't want them. And let's be honest, Trump would lose if a lot of black people, especially black men, started voting for him, because his base of voters vote for him because they see him as the anti-black person. They see him as, they like the fact that he's racist and not he doesn't hide his racism. And if a lot of black people start voting for him, it means he's not racist. And if he is not, his white people, his white voters will not vote for him. Trump doesn't want black men to support him, especially black men to support him. Of course, he doesn't want black men to support him either. So yeah, and then they were talking about how Trump, when Trump took out ad calling for the execution of 5 little black boys, they tried to say that the fault is the prosecutors. No, it's not. Yes, they have the fault, but that is absolutely has nothing to do with what Trump did. There are a lot of white people in New York who were accused of crime at that time, but Trump has never called for the execution of those people. The problem we have with what Trump did is not because the kids were ultimately found to be innocent. The problem is him calling for the execution of kids, and he called for the execution of kids because they are black. If these were white kids that were accused of what those black kids were accused of, he would not have called for their execution. That's where the racism is. The racism is not whether those kids were innocent or not. But I have noticed this especially with that fearless guy. He thinks the case of what's his name, Emmett Till, is about false accusation. No, if the case is about a black child being lynched, even if he did what he was accused of doing, if he had been a white child, he would not have been lynched. The problem is not whether the accusation was false or not. It is the fact that he was lynched for on accusation of rape, which he would not have been lynched if he was a white child. And you start to realize that these people, these passport bros, these black misogynists, um, their brain, I don't know. I mean, uh, trying to make Emmett Till's case a sexism case, a case of false rape accusation. It just comes from a mind that has absolutely been colonized. Emmett Till's case is not about false rape accusation, because if let's say the accusation was false, if Emmett Till was a white child, he would not have been lynched. That is the point. It's not whether the accusation is true or not. But here is the thing: these men are completely, completely colonized mind. They worship whiteness. They are extremely sexist, extremely misogynist, extreme black woman haters. So much so that I mean, how are you allowing black men, white men, to use a crime that their forefathers committed against black children and against black boys, to use that as some kind of a case of women lying about sex, about rape. If that woman who accused Emmett Till of harassing her or raping her, whatever, if she had made that accusation against a little white boy, that little white boy would not have been lynched. But here is the thing, guys. These passport bros, this black woman hater, they are black woman haters. So little by little, you see them associating with themselves with white supremacists. Mm, there is this black passport bro who went to Poland, and he was talking about his experience in Poland. And to be honest, if you watch his show, his video, he was not really making that extreme claim about Poland. He was not saying, the Polish people are racist left and right. Da, 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 you should not go to, uh, Poland if you are a black person. No, that's not what he was saying. He was just saying that, the experience there was not pleasant. Now, there is this white guy named Legion of Men. He is, making video criticizing that black guy, that black passport bro. And when you watch Legion of Men video, you realize that a lot of the things he says are very thinly disguised racist claims. But here is the thing: this guy, and now the passport bros are calling Legion of Men, a racist. Da, 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 da. But like a year ago, that same guy was palling around with Austin. Almost every white guy these passport bros are friends with are right-wing racist passport bros. But I mean, racist white men. But these passport bros, because their hatred for women, especially black women, blind them to the reality of what these right-wing white men are. So they make alliance, with these racist right-wing white men. So what was I gonna say? Let me tell you guys. When I date white men, I will never ever date right-wing white men. I have dated 3 white men, and almost all of them are not almost all of them are not right-wing. And so you should never be aligning yourself with right-wing white people. It doesn't matter how much you have agreement in other areas. If you love yourself as a Black person, you will not be aligning yourself with right-wingers. And what was I gonna say? And I don't even know why I have this. It's so funny. Like in the past, I could be on the live for like, there was a time I was on the live for 12 hours. One day we had a live for like 24 hours. I started like 9 a.m. one day and it went almost like until 6 a.m. the next day. But now, I mean, I cannot even stay for 30 minutes. I get tired. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Whatever I want to say, I have already said it. And so that's what I wanted to say. Bye bye.